Hi there, I'm Mark Sebastian, founder of OptionPit.com with the AM Volatility Report. Reminder, this is for education purposes only. None of this should be considered investment advice. Consult your financial professional. Hey, just as an FYI, our store sale, 50% off everything, ends tomorrow. So get on it. And then we're going to be announcing a really cool new class for January. So be on the lookout for that. Well, here we are. Market is flat, vol up. I think this might be one of those weird scenarios. We might be looking at, is there going to be a terrorist attack over the first of the year? What's going to happen over the long weekend? Are we afraid of a January effect? Are we going to reverse? For all the ballyhoo about this crazy rally we had, if you look at it in a tight lens, it doesn't look as crazy. So here's the crazy rally all through November. And then if you pull to kind of the December time frame, so let's just look at D1. Doesn't look that nuts. You're really talking 2020 to 20, you're talking 40 points in the S&P this month. I mean, it's a nice month, a little less than 2%, but that's nothing crazy. I've definitely seen more active days than that. So, with Dow now 200 points away from 20,000, the NASDAQ off a touch, and a few other things like that happening. Things look like they want to be soft today. But who knows? I mean, Amazon has been a bit of a laggard for how good their holiday sales were and how much they touched. The market must have been expecting more, because this is one where really, had a little bit of a Trump sell-off and rally, but really has been one of the laggards in the market. Amazon, Apple's gone up a little bit, but not a lot. But certainly hasn't had the same problems. Facebook with those fake news stories has had problems. And Google's outperformed the other two, but it hasn't done anything special. So it's interesting that kind of the social media, internet access sites and, these kind of environmental space type platforms are having all sorts of problems. Meanwhile, the rest has been pretty good. Now, our big leader has been the financials, and if you look, Goldman's down in the end of the year, some profit taking. JP Morgan, things like that. We could be having, normally we expect some tax effect, but this whole carried interest tax piece, we may be seeing some selling. We also might be seeing some people trying to get out ahead of the January effect, and people that are worried less about tax. And if that's the case, that would be a good reason to see kind of the price action that we're seeing today. So that's kind of what I'm seeing throughout the market. We've seen a nice little move in VIX futures. VIX itself is up nicely from its lows. It touched down to 1093 last week and has since started to reprice itself. This is not unusual. All right. But meanwhile, the VIX futures, if I look at VIX Jan, VIX Jan, you can see it's had a nice little blip after, nice little sell-off. So it got down to about 13.95, closed 14, and is up about $1. Now that's probably enough. All right, the spread is pretty fair, 1508 to 1398. So the way this is pricing itself is we are not going to see a lot of weekend effect when we come in on Tuesday. All right, that feels basically the way the VIX is pricing itself. They're repricing the weekend. Could be terrorist fears, could be, all sorts of stuff. But it's interesting to watch that the way things are being repriced. And it appears some of the financials are the ones taking us down, but also, if you look at all of the little sector ETFs, energy's down a touch, you name it. Technology's really the big loser. So I think today it could be interesting, but I'm interested to see whether we sold off this week because we're not going to sell off the next week, or whether this is a precursor to a big January effect. Stay tuned, folks. All right, on that note, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. And if you got questions, you can call me 888-TRADE-01, or you can email me mark@optionpit.com. Have a great morning.